Ah, Robocop. A true icon of 80s action movies, a defining role in Peter Weller's career, and for some reason, a guest star on WCW back in the 90s. But don't you just wish that you could play as him in a video game? Well, if you were a kid growing up in the 90s, you could. The problem is, they were mostly terrible. But then in 2023, Teon released Robocop Rogue City, a brand new adventure set after the events of Robocop 2, because let's be honest, I think we'd all rather forget that Robocop 3 ever existed, with Peter Weller himself reprising his role as the big metal boy in blue. And here's the thing, it was actually pretty good, perfectly capturing the look and feel of dilapidated old Detroit from the movies, serving up action, gunplay and gore by the bucket load, and featuring a neat little story that continues on from the movies and even offers the player a few choices for how it ends. The story kicks off with Robocop foiling a terrorist plot at a local news station in his usual, direct style. But while he's there, he starts suffering hallucinations about his past life, which all gets caught on camera and results in bad PR for OCP and the police. The company want to keep a closer eye on him, so they install a chip to monitor his behaviour and submit him for regular psychiatric evaluations. And while all this shit's going on, Detroit's under attack by a new gang called the Street Vultures, and a terrorist leader known only as the New Guy, who seems to have a past connection to Robocop. So it's up to you to take on both of these new threats, uncover the mystery of who the new guy is and what he wants, while negotiating a web of corporate conspiracies, government corruption, police rebellions, and all kinds of clashing personalities and interpersonal dramas. The more the story progresses, the more various factions will call on you for support and public endorsements, and while you can string all of them along up to a point, eventually you're gonna have to pick a side, which results in slightly different endings depending on your choices. I mean, I'm probably making it sound more complicated than it really is. In reality, just like other games with branching storylines, the core plot stays the same no matter what you do, and the only real variations are in little side characters and events that mostly happen off screen. I mean, it's nice to give the player the illusion of choice at least, and to be fair, the script actually balances out the various perspectives pretty well, so that it doesn't just come down to a choice between, hey, you want to be good or evil today. And I know this might seem like a bit of a pointless tangent, but I never really understood why Delta City was considered such a bad thing in the movies. I mean, sure, OCP definitely got up to some shady stuff in their special projects division, but Detroit's meant to be this crime-ridden shithole that nobody wants to live in anymore. Wouldn't it be better to knock it down and build a brand new city in its place? Ah, whatever. You're not really playing a Robocop game for the story, you're here to blow stuff up and separate limbs from their owners, so what's it like to actually play? Well, really fucking fun as it happens. You're basically a slow-moving bullet sponge that can tank a lot of damage, but explosions and heavier weapons can fuck you up pretty quick, so you still need to become familiar with cover-based shooting. You can scan the environments for threats, and your trusty Auto 9 will obliterate weaker enemies pretty easily. You can pick up dropped weapons, but the ammo doesn't last too long, so they tend to be temporary bonuses at best. You can also pick up objects and even fallen enemies and use them not just as meat shields but improvised missiles, which honestly never gets old. And just as you'd expect from a Robocop game, the violence and gore is just glorious. There's also an upgrade tree that allows you to learn new abilities and enhance existing ones, like the ability to slow down time or generate a temporary shield to protect you while you close the distance. It's standard RPG style progression, but the ability to tailor the gameplay to suit your style is always welcome. The main campaign will keep you busy enough, but there's a bunch of side missions you can do to improve your public reputation and gain more experience, so it really depends how much time you want to invest in this one. I mean, I'm not gonna lie here, it's pretty satisfying to just walk down the streets like a fucking boss, taking in the atmosphere and looking for criminals to punish. I get the impression this game wasn't done on a huge budget, and it definitely shows in the graphics department. A lot of the character models and textures look pretty rough and unfinished, the lip syncing usually has no connection to what they're actually saying, and during the more hectic action scenes, there were pretty serious frame rate issues on the PS5 version I was playing it on. And I've got to be honest, Rogue City is one of the glitchiest console games I've played in years. Characters will merge into each other in the middle of cutscenes or fall into the scenery or just disappear altogether. Sometimes you'll pick up an object and find that you can't put it down, ever. Or you'll be in the middle of a cutscene having a serious conversation and Robocop will start spazzing out like a meth head that's been forced to wait a bit too long for his fix. None of these are game-breaking problems by any means, but they do kind of take you out of what is otherwise a pretty immersive experience. But overall, I think Rogue City was a fun, exciting and surprisingly faithful game that offers up a decent level of challenge and proves that there's still plenty of of life in the franchise if it's done by the right people. There's even an expansion pack coming out in a couple of months, and I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to playing it. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.